Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face and welcome back to this McLaren career on Motorsport Manager. We've only got 3 races left to go in the season. We've got the Suzuka Japanese Grand Prix coming up today, and then we're going to be finishing off with the United States Grand Prix and the Brazil Grand Prix in Sao Paulo. Those 2 episodes will be coming up tomorrow. They will be released on Sunday, one at 12 PM GMT time and then the other one at the usual 4 PM GMT time, doing 2 episodes on the Sunday since there is no actual Formula 1 race this weekend. We are starting things off with a vote this time. We are voting on low profile tyres. These low profile tyres look phenomenal, but they aren't the fastest tyres around. At the moment we do have the widest, highest profile slicks on the car, which are quicker tyres. If this low profile tyres go through, we should be expecting slower lap times next year, but we're just going to abstain. We're going to see what the computer decides to do. Claire Williams goes against. We're getting a few votes for it. Looks like it's getting voted down here. Only Mercedes, Renault and Ferrari voting for. Everyone else voting against, other than us and the I don't think it'll have the real designer in, but that's a Russian time designer there. No voting as well, saving up their votes. So yeah, we're going to be sticking with the same tyres next season. We'll skip ahead a tiny little bit. We've got the rear wing that we were building just finished here. I don't think we can actually put it in the car. It's not going to be reliable enough anyway, but I think it's a risky part anyway. It gets us up to a 1139 we can get to, whereas currently, can we look at that? Well, let me look. A 1094, so a little bit of an improvement there. We've got a lot of money. Should we try and improve something else? We can work on the gearbox. I don't think there's much to do. Should we go and a plus 50? Gives us a little bit more there. We'll work on a gearbox. We're going to build a few new parts going ready for the car next year. We're not building anything that won't go in the car this year. Sponsorship wise, everything is filmed out, so we'll skip ahead a few days. So we're at the start of the Suzuka Grand Prix weekend. Paddy Lowe wants us to build a wing tunnel. I don't think we're going to do that. And Lewis Hamilton is going to Suzuka at the top of the driver's standings. Lewis is now 41 points ahead. It's pretty much his title unless he messes up in 2 races and finishes outside the point and Alonso wins 2 races. It's pretty much Lewis Hamilton's title. We have confirmed the constructor's title mathematically, pretty much. Yeah, so we're just looking in good shape. Hopefully by next season we're looking in even greater shape. We do still have the 3rd best car overall at the moment, so maybe we can get to somewhere around 2nd. I'm hoping that we can keep hold of both drivers at the end of the season. We've got 2 months left. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we did. We might bring Carlos Sainz in if we lose one, or Mick Schumacher might get into the seat. He is 4-star rated at the moment, but that is just because he has this renewed passion. Otherwise he's 3.5, but he's possibly ready to go in the car. Maybe we can give him a chance next season if either Lewis or Fernando try to play a few games with us and won't renegotiate on the contracts. It possibly will cost a lot of money. We know Mercedes are wanting to replace Jenson Button at the end of the season because I think he is going to be retiring. But anyway, we're going to jump straight into the Suzuka Grand Prix. As usual, we'll be coming back for the grid order, and then we'll take things from that point. But just before that, we're going to accept the 3rd or above. We've got the same car set up as last time, so yeah, we'll skip ahead. We'll come back with the grid. So here is the grid for the Suzuka Grand Prix. We've got the Ferraris, as is becoming the norm, on the front row of the grid. Vettel first, Kimi Raikkonen second. Another outstanding lap from Sebastian Vettel, half a second quicker than the 2nd best car. Unusually, in 3rd place, we do have a Mercedes. This is the first time we haven't hit our sponsorship objective of 3rd or above. It seems like Mercedes have finally smartened up and given Valtteri the better car here for once. So Valtteri into the top 3 on the podium for possibly the first time this season, other than really early on in the season. I can't remember him being this high up. But our 2 McLarens then follow in 4th and 5th. Fernando Alonso a tiny little bit quicker than Lewis Hamilton, and then we've got Jenson Button in 6th place, rounding out the 3rd row of the grid. Then we've got Stoffel Vandoorne in the Red Bull, Perez in the Force India, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, and Daniel Ricciardo rounding out the top 10 in the Williams Grand Prix car. Jerome D'Ambrosio in the other Williams in 11th, Carlos Sainz in 12th in the Renault, Esteban Ocon in 13th in the Force India. Marcus Ericsson doing a little bit better than usual, up into 14th in the Sauber. A Toro Rosso of Kvyat 15th. The Russian time of Kevin Magnussen a little bit higher than usual as well for him in 16th. Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso in 17th. Julian Palmer in the Renault all the way down in 18th. Pascal Wehrlein in the Sauber down in 19th. And as is usual for him, Ria Haryanto in 20th place in the Russian time. So let's just jump into this. We want to try and look after the tyres early on here. It is a 22 lap race. Alonso can get about 4 laps out of these early tyres, but Hamilton gets off the line beautifully there. He's challenging Kimi Raikkonen already. It looks like he's got the run on Kimi Raikkonen as well pretty early here, and it looks like that is Van Dorn coming through. Van Dorn takes Hamilton as well. Hamilton going on the outside. Hamilton manages to retain that position. Alonso all the way back into 7th here. So it does look like Mercedes and is that Jenson Button coming through it into 7th. Fernando's gone all the way down to 8th place. It does look like the Ferraris and the Mercedes have finally got themselves in gear. They're finally hitting what they should be doing. But as usual, we're going to burn off the fuel early on, so we're running a little bit quicker per lap. Fuel-wise, we have a little bit less weight in the car. Alonso struggling to get past Jenson Button here, so we're going to go medium on the tyres here. We'll use some of this boost, try and get him past a few of these cars. Where is it going to get him to? Gets him back in front of Sergio Perez all the way up into 5th place, and we've got Kimi Raikkonen behind. So Lewis Hamilton now is trailing Valtteri Bottas. We're going to use a little bit of his boost so he can start harvesting. Gets us past. That gets us past Valtteri Bottas quite easily. We've got Sebastian Vettel. Vettel cannot quite seem to keep his race pace. Well, carry the qualifying pace over to race pace. Always seems to be a little bit behind. So, but Kimi Raikkonen has managed to get in front of Fernando Alonso here, but we've got a lot of boost to use, which gets him past Raikkonen and Van Dorn there. So we've got a lot of laps left here. We can let the fuel go down even a little bit more than this. Maybe we should go just in a high mode for a bit so we can go a little bit longer. We just try to keep Hamilton on the back of Sebastian Vettel here. 36% to 31%. So it is going to be Fernando Alonso that is coming in first. What's he got left? We can do another lap on this tyre. We can do 8 laps then on this, 10 on that. Gets us about 18. So we're going to be able to do it. I'm going to do a medium middle stint and then finish on the softs with Alonso. Is what we're going to do. But he's back up into 4th place now, having got past Raikkonen and Van Dorn earlier. Should we boost? What are we? A second behind. Let's use quite a bit of this boost. Then we can just sit and harvest for a bit. It's not going to get us past Vettel. Doesn't get us anywhere close either, because Vettel uses his boost and gets even further in front than he was after the last lap. So we're going to go back into medium now. We're going to set Alonso up for his pit stop onto the medium tyre. He's going to come back out in 15th after this lap. Let's just have a look. No, these are getting pretty worn, so we're going to have to with Alonso. I'm going to go balanced. He's going to come into the pits this time. Hopefully he has a decent pit stop here. Decent pit stop, come on, yes, a decent pit stop for Fernando Alonso. We'll push the tyres a little bit to get a little bit of heat into him, so he's back out into 12th here. A couple of the other cars actually came in as well. Alonso will use some boost because he's under pressure from Julian Palmer. And we've got Pierre Gasly in a slower Toro Rosso to get past. Can we boost to get past him? Yes, we can. We've got a Force India and a Russian time in front. Hamilton is currently running first at the moment. We're going to boost him. His tyres are pretty worn here, but I want to try and send him a little bit further as we can. We're not really losing any time here with the boost. We're just going to try open up a little bit of a gap over Vettel. I know he's got the undercut here. I don't know if this is going to work because we don't really have the tyres left to do this, but we can. We can hit another soft tyre, but we do have a medium hard tyre. I was hoping for the hard tyre, but it's only 13 laps. It says we can go 15 if we look after it. Is that the way that we can beat Sebastian Vettel here? I'm not actually sure. We're going to have to decide here pretty quickly. But Vettel, where is Vettel? 22 seconds here. He's coming for a medium tyre. No, it does look like it's worked out staying that extra lap and using the boost. Looks like it's worked. So we're coming back out into first place here. So going that extra lap, the undercut doesn't seem to have worked. We're going to be coming back out into first place, hopefully. We'll go balance because we don't need to risk it. So where are we going to get back out here? We've got... And no, just... No, did we? What did happen then? No, Vettel got back out in front, just back out in front. Possibly just kept Hamilton out a little bit too much then. The tyres got almost to the 10% that the soft tyres can get down to. I'm sure the soft tyres can get down to 10%. Didn't quite work out. Our two cars pretty close together now. We've got Alonso stuck behind Sainz, who still needs to make a pit stop. But we'll boost past him, just possibly slowing us down. I'm going to try to cool these tyres down of Alonso now because he's gone a little bit too long. Try to push those tyres. And Hamilton is currently behind Valtteri Bottas. Didn't just quite work out. But we're about 2 seconds down. We didn't actually lose any time. Even with Vettel getting the undercut, we actually picked up a little bit of time. We just try to catch Marcus Ericsson here in the Sauber. We'll try boost, and that got us past him. We're going to be slowed down by him. We'll boost as well with Alonso to get him past Marcus Ericsson, although he's coming to the pits anyway. Hamilton, meanwhile, we're 2 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas here. Don't want to let these tyres get too hot. What are we lapping at the moment? Can't actually see until we've done this lap. If we're lapping quicker, we are catching him a little bit. But Bottas does a 113.5 to our 111.7. Although he was held up by Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. Kvyat's going to come into the pits. We can't get past him before then. Come on. Alonso 5th. We'll use his boost as well to catch up with the field. Hamilton, meanwhile, running 3rd place here. But Bottas a 2nd in front. We think we're still lapping a little bit quicker than him. Although we are using the boosts and so on. But we can go back into high mode for a little bit here, it looks like. Bottas is in conserve mode with his tyres because he went for the soft on his 2nd stint. So he's going to have to go medium for the last stint, unless he's got another pair of soft tyres left. But I wouldn't think he would do, as you're only allowed to bring 5 pairs of soft tyres to a race weekend. Most of those get used up in practice. We'll use 1 in practice, and then a lot of the AI teams usually use 3 or nearly 4. That's why a lot of the teams usually use them up and don't have any other soft tyres left for the race. We're just going to harvest our energy here for when we come into the pits, or when we see Valtteri coming, because he's going to be coming in before us. And at that point, when we know we're coming into the pits, we're going to boost, and hopefully we can get back out in front of Valtteri Bottas here. I don't think there was any way that we could catch Sebastian Vettel. Tried something a little bit different. We knew Vettel was going to go for the undercut. We took the tyres right to the limit. Possibly didn't work out for us. Trying to use the boost instead to catch up. But yeah, I don't think there was any point where we could have caught Sebastian Vettel. We could actually go for the undercut here, because I know we've got 7 laps remaining. We could finish on a soft tyre, so we could go another lap. We could come out onto a medium tyre that we can actually just run in the red for the entire time. So which is actually going to be quicker? Running a medium tyre in the red or running a soft tyre in the yellow? Because we can just push this tyre. We can go into the red and just keep it there, even though the wood get really hot. We'll go another lap. We'll try the soft tyre. We're going to get Alonso in there. Alonso's going to be coming in. He can do it on this last soft tyre pretty easily. So we've got Alonso coming in this lap. And we're going to attack on these tyres. We're going to run in overtake mode for a lap. We're going to use some of the boost as he goes into the pits. We'll come off and then we'll boost again. And Bottas is into the pits. So what we're going to do is we're going to push. We're going to go overtake mode. We're going to boost. In a second, we're going to set up. We're going to try get in for these soft tyres. Are any of them any better than the other? Which ones? This one's slightly higher, I think. I'm going to have to go for a used pair of soft tyres. A little bit risky, but what's Bottas out? He's out on a fresh pair of mediums. He's going to be going all out on that fresh pair of mediums. So should we come in for the mediums? Have we got enough of a gap over Bottas? 27 seconds, 20 seconds. It's not enough, is it? No, we're going to go mediums and try push as well. Otherwise, we'd have no room to push on the soft tyres that we've got on. Alonso, meanwhile, is going to go high and back into medium with Alonso. Right, and we're going to boost now. Hopefully we've got enough. Here comes Vettel into the pits. Should have possibly gone with a fast one, but we've not had the best of luck with fast pit stops. And we're back out in front of Valtteri Bottas, just out in front, and we can really just run this tyre into the ground now, although we're running out of fuel, aren't we? Took a lot. Hopefully we can just hold off Bottas here, because we're going to have to run in low mode to the end of the race. Can we hold him up enough to get Alonso somewhere close to him to overtake? That is what we're looking at here. Just try and hold him off with the boost. A little bit of teamwork. We've got no boost with Alonso though to get him past here. We've got some boost with Hamilton. Let's boost the tiny little bit that we've got. Bottas is boosting as well. No, he's got tons of boost left. We couldn't hold him up long enough to get Alonso in front. So what we're going to do, since we're holding up here, we're going to have to let Alonso through, because Alonso is the quicker car at the moment. We don't usually use team orders. Alonso is through now. And we're going to be able to catch Bottas here. We're lapping a little bit quicker. Hamilton though is falling away. We took the risk in trying to get him back out in front of Bottas. It worked out, but then we didn't have the fuel to sort of stay in front. Whereas we just need to try and get Alonso alongside here. Can he take Bottas? He can. Although Bottas does have a lot of boost left. He's going to come flying back at us now. Going to attack on these tyres. We've got no chance of holding him off. Just going to attack on these tyres. Can we stay close to him, get Alonso past him without using the boost? There we can. Hamilton meanwhile it's going to be close on his fuel. Whereas Alonso, can we keep him ahead here? Is what we want. Vettel a long way in front. You weren't expecting him to be a lot further in front than that, although that's about right, isn't it, for being about half a second quicker. But he is about 8/10 of a lap quicker than us. We do have these tyres still going really hot. Bottas is cooling his down. We do have a lot of boost left, or should we save it? If we can keep Hamilton on his back, we get in towards it here. Then we've got him past. We've got him past. Now boost, Hamilton, boost. Is it? No, not enough boost. Bottas has still got some boost left. Coming to the finish line. Almost took third there, but Alonso did brilliantly to get back past Valtteri Bottas there into second place. Hamilton, meanwhile, we used a lot of fuel of his up early. Could have used a little bit there at the end, but Bottas had a lot of boost left. And we wouldn't have been able to fight him off, I don't think. But second and fourth is not too bad here. It's just a shame that we've got this sort of challenge so late in the season. It would have been good to have this challenge all the way through the season and not win the title this year by so much, or not win the title at all. But second and fourth is nothing to be disappointed about. We still do have the third best car overall, so being in second and fourth is an amazing result for us. Danny Kvyat in the Toro Rosso did it on 2 sets of hard tyres and got himself into 5th place. An absolutely amazing race for him. Bottas third, Button all the way down in 10th. So it looks like Mercedes have actually wisened up a little bit and given Bottas the highest rated driver the better car. I think Button had been having the better car for the majority of the season, as Bottas had been finishing really low down, even though he'd been not having any real reliability problems. But at least we hit the sponsorship objective for the race. 6th place demotion for Stoffel Van Dorn. That's the second time. I think he was demoted 4 places in an earlier race. Max Verstappen as well. Demoted 8 places, Max Verstappen. Red Bull really pushing their upgrades and going for really risky parts here. So I'm guessing they're going to be a long way behind next season, because they seem to be spending a lot of money but getting caught as well. It looks like, no, it was just those 2 cars, wasn't it? So there we go. Vettel wins. Alonso second. Bottas third. Lewis Hamilton still top now, reduced to 35 points. I don't think, well, it's not going to be enough to reclaim that over the next 2 races, which will be coming up tomorrow. As I said, the American Grand Prix at 12 PM GMT time, and the Sao Paulo, Brazil Grand Prix at 4 PM GMT time, the normal slot. But we're in no danger of anyone catching. 264 points ahead. Williams, it looks like Ferrari are going to get themselves back into second. They were quite low down at one point, but they've managed to recoup. They're possibly going to take second place, well, easily, because Williams have fallen off a little bit. What did Ricciardo do in that last race? Can we get that far back? Where he is, Daniel Ricciardo. Can't even see him. 8th place, and Ambrosio 10th place. So Williams have really fallen off a little bit here, as we've seen Ferrari and Mercedes come back. Williams have obviously paid for that in that they're finishing a lot lower down the order now. So we should be expecting a little bit less in sponsorship money this time, as we missed the objective for qualifying. So only 616,000 going into the bank this time. Not a bad amount of money either way. You can see we're still winning at the moment. Haas are still winning GP2 as well, so we'll be seeing Haas back in Formula 1 next season. Whereas Russian time won't be going down unless they can pull off a miracle in the last 2 races. But I don't think they've got any real chance of catching Renault. Whereas we've got Haas coming back up there, leading pretty comfortably over Arden International. Nico Hulkenberg comfortably winning the championship as well. So Haas have got a pretty good driver going into next season. A pretty good team if they can hold on to Hulkenberg and Roman Grosjean. Maybe they're going to stay up. If we are at a point where we can lead this McLaren team next season, having won the title again, then we're possibly going to move to Haas if the job is available. But for now, we're just going to finish the episode as we usually do with the interview. Red Bull Racing's Verstappen had a bit of a disaster in that race, finishing down in 18th. We'll say that, which usually gives us the option of discussing terms with Max Verstappen if we did indeed want him for next season. Although I'm guessing it will cost a lot to get him. 3.8, his contract's not up either, so we would have to pay it. Just in case one of these guys wants to play hardball with us, or if Fernando decides to retire this season. I don't know if you get any indication of retiring until the end of the season. He is 36 years old. I know Button is retiring at the end of the season, because we did have a news story about that speculating. Where is Jenson Button at the moment? Now that's probably why Jenson Button's dropped off a bit, and why they're not giving him the better car, because he has regressed to a 3.5-star rated driver. So I'm wondering if at 37 years old is the age when drivers start to... their stats start to degrade a bit. So maybe next season we're going to be seeing Fernando Alonso. His stats start to degrade a bit. Yeah, so maybe that is something to think about, but I do want Fernando in the car really next season. Yeah, we do really want Fernando there. I feel maybe leave a comment. But he's 36, he's getting on in years, as is Lewis, but Lewis has still got a little bit to go. But if Jenson Button's anything to go by, 37 for this mod seems to be the age when they start to regress as a driver. So maybe he's going to start losing some stats next season. I don't think he's losing this season. But anyway, that is it for today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow with 2 different episodes throughout the day, the American Grand Prix, and then followed by the season finale in Brazil. But until next time, as usual, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, all the usual stuff. But until next time, I'll see you down the road in America for the USA Grand Prix, and goodbye.